I think you might be high. Do I turn you on? You can tell me if I'm wrong. Girl, I think you might be. Anyway, today's story is an oldie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, these older stories are really nostalgic for me. Like, it feels like. So basically, this story is from elementary school and that whole era in my life. And it low-key feels like it's not real to me now. Like, it felt like remembering this and talking about like the memories from this time in my life, it feels like I'm like referencing a slice of life ass episode, like Clarence adjacent type shit. But anyway, today's story takes place when I was in the fourth grade. The fourth grade, yes, like youngest shit. And so I'm like 9 or 10. And in my fourth grade class, we had these like class activities where we would get into groups and grab one of these like mini whiteboards. You know, those like tiny whiteboards that you be like doing math activities on or something. Basically, we all had one of those and we would partner up with it. So, I mean, we would partner up with like a friend or something. So we were in groups of 2. So I partner up with the homie who we're gonna call Kevin, and we go out in the hallway because our teacher low-key f***ed with us. So we were kind of allowed to do work in the hallways. But the thing is though, to be honest, niggas would always just bullshit when we went out to do work in the hallways. We were literally not doing shit out there. Math was not getting done. I remember I was literally drawing my Dragon Ball OCs, and this Kevin was like doing fucking cartwheels in the hallway. This was literally flipping in the hallway. And there's cameras right by like our classroom because our classroom is at the end of the hallway. But we did not care. So then I start egging this on. And I'm like, try doing a cartwheel off the wall. Bet you won't. No balls. Do a cartwheel off the wall right now. Mind you, we're working right under a fire alarm because it's at the end of the hall. So he gets on his hands and he kicks his feet up against the wall and he tries to And first of all, his form was not even on some cartwheel shit. This was like trying to do like a front flip off the wall. Like, he thought he was Ryu Hayabusa or some shit. But anyway, his feet dead ass kicked the fire alarm. I see that shit happen. I watched. I so vividly remember the image of his feet, making contact with the fire alarm lever. And we all get rushed outside. All I hear is wee 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 type shit. And we all get rushed outside. We do the whole lineup thing. All the classes are lined up. And eventually our administrator, who is like this big nig, large nig, he comes out with the walkie-talkie and he's like, over, a breaker. It came from the fourth grade hallway. And then everyone goes back inside. And I heard this say that and I was like, oh, fuck. This might be fucked. We might be in some shit. And then everybody goes back inside and returns to their classrooms. And we walk in and I look at Kevin and I'm like, bruh, it's not looking good. I heard this say some shit and he's like, fuck. And eventually the admins come to our class because we're like right down the end of the hall. So we're the closest to the fire alarm. This was literally set up for us to fail. And Kevin and me get singled out because we were the only niggas in the hallway. And they start asking us hella questions. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So they're like, what happened? Was this you? Do you see who did this? Like, blah, blah, blah. What's the story behind this? How did this happen? And I'm like, nobody. I don't want to throw this nigga under the bus. Like, I really don't. So I'm like, I was doing my math homework. Not homework. I was doing the math assignment. Like, we were both sitting under here. You know, like, I wasn't trying. Like, I was trying to save this nigga. But I also, like, it was just us two. And if they really wanted to know, they would check the footage from the camera that was literally right above us when this happened. But like, shit. And then Kevin starts lying his fucking ass off. Kevin starts capping like crazy. And he's like, yeah, I just hit my head really hard on the alarm. Like, I was like, we were sitting down and I just stood up because I was sitting right below it. And then I just stood up and then I just like, I hit my head really hard on the alarm. And yeah, and they're like, okay. And then he starts crying because like, I feel like he knew he was f***ed. This nigga knew he was f***ed. He starts crying and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You know, this nigga was like whimpering and shit. And here I am. I'm like, damn, what? Just don't get me involved in this shit, bruh. Like, I was low-key a grimy kid, bruh. I was a grimy nigga when I was a kid. But and I can tell these admins are low-key starting to feel bad for him, because this nigga was like, he wasn't like tearing up. No, this nigga was crying. And they're like, look, it's okay, just pack up and go back to the classroom, like this was clearly an accident, like blah blah blah. So we walked back into class. It was just us two, our teacher, and the admins in the hallway talking about it. So we walked back into class, and it feels like, bruh, everybody's just watching us walk back in. Like, we just came back from war, bruh. And Kevin still got some tears in his eyes. Everyone's like, damn, what happened to this nigga? And me, I'm like, don't ask me, I'm just trying to pack up. It was literally the end of the day. We were about to get ready to go home. It was like, he didn't say anything to anybody. This nigga just walked into class, wiped the tears from his eyes, packed up, dipped. Niggas just dipped. And then apparently, like, a couple weeks passed by, and apparently our teacher is like talking to us, and she's like, yeah, some other kid pulled the fire alarm recently. He did not get off so lucky. That nigga got like suspended or something, and we were like, damn, and that probably was an accident. Look at you, you pulled that shit low-key on purpose. Not on purpose, but like, kicked his foot against the fire alarm lever. Like, that was kind of wild. Granted, I low-key, definitely, this was partially my fault too, but neither of us got any blame, so shout out us, I guess. Anyway, don't try any of this at home. If you do, record that shit. Record it. Welcome to the garden, you gonna have to pardon me. It's a sad. Welcome to the garden, you gonna have to pardon me. It's a sad story, chocolate hit my homie artery. Just a week later, family won the fucking lottery. Kinda sick story, what the fuck they tryna plot on me? Welcome to the garden, you gon' have to pardon me. It's a sad story,